Where would you expect to see these markers? On a railway bridge, on a diversion sign, on a motorway sign, on a large goods vehicle. What's the main hazard shown in this picture? Vehicles turning right. Vehicles doing U-turns. The cyclist crossing the road. Parked cars around the corner. Which road user has caused a hazard? The car turning, arrowed D. The parked car, arrowed A. The moving car, arrowed C. The pedestrian waiting to cross, arrowed B. What should the driver of the car approaching the crossing do? Slow down and get ready to stop. Continue at the same speed. Sound the horn. Drive through quickly. What should the driver of the grey car, arrowed, be especially aware of? The uneven road surface. Traffic following behind. Empty parking spaces. Doors opening on parked cars. You see this sign ahead. What should you expect? The road will go steeply uphill. The road will bend sharply to the left. The road will bend sharply to the right. The road will go steeply downhill. You're approaching this cyclist. What should you do? Slow down and allow the cyclist to turn. Overtake before the cyclist gets to the junction. Flash your headlights at the cyclist. Overtake the cyclist on the left-hand side. Why must you take extra care when turning right at this junction? The footpaths are narrow. The road surface is poor. The road markings are faint. The view is restricted. Which type of vehicle should you be ready to give way to as you approach this bridge? Buses, motorcycles, bicycles, cars. What type of vehicle could you expect to meet in the middle of the road? Lorry, bicycle, motorcycle, car. What must you do at this junction? Stop only if you're turning right. Stop behind the line, then edge forward to see clearly. Stop beyond the line at a point where you can see clearly. Stop only if there's traffic on the main road. A driver pulls out of a side road in front of you, causing you to brake hard. What should you do? Sound your horn to show your annoyance. Flash your lights to show your annoyance. Ignore the error and stay calm. Overtake as soon as possible. How would age affect an elderly person's driving ability? They'll take longer to react to hazards. They won't be able to obtain car insurance. They'll need glasses to read road signs. They won't signal at junctions. You've just passed these warning lights. What hazard would you expect to see next? a level crossing with no barrier, a school crossing patrol, an ambulance station, an opening bridge. You're planning a long journey. Do you need to plan rest stops? Yes. Regular stops help concentration. Yes. You should plan to stop every half an hour. No. Only fuel stops will be needed. No. You'll be less tired if you get there as soon as possible. The red lights are flashing. What should you do when approaching this level crossing? Switch on hazard warning lights. Go through carefully. Go through quickly. Stop before the barrier. You're approaching a crossroads. The traffic lights have failed. What should you do? Be prepared to stop for any traffic. Brake sharply to a stop before looking. Be prepared to brake sharply to a stop. Brake and stop only for large vehicles. What should the driver of the red car arrowed do? Quickly drive behind the pedestrian in the road. Tell the pedestrian in the road she shouldn't have crossed. Wave towards the pedestrians who are waiting to cross. Wait for the pedestrian in the road to cross. You're following a slower moving vehicle on a narrow country road. There's a junction just ahead on the right. What should you do? Overtake after checking your mirrors and signalling. Only consider overtaking when you're past the junction. Slow down and prepare to overtake on the left. Accelerate quickly to pass before the junction. What should you do as you approach this overhead bridge? Move across to the right-hand side before going through. Move out to the centre of the road before going through. Find another route. This one is only for high vehicles. Be prepared to give way to large vehicles in the middle of the road. Why are mirrors often slightly curved, convex? They give a wider field of vision. They make it easier to judge the speed of following traffic. They make following traffic look bigger. They totally cover blind spots. A slow-moving lorry showing this sign is travelling in the middle lane of a 3-lane motorway. How should you pass it? Don't pass the lorry and leave the motorway at the next exit. Approach with care and pass on the left of the lorry. Use the right-hand lane and pass the lorry normally. Cautiously approach the lorry, then pass on either side. You think the driver of the vehicle in front has forgotten to cancel their right indicator. What should you do? Flash your lights to alert the driver. Overtake on the left if there's room. Stay behind and don't overtake. Sound your horn before overtaking. What's the main hazard the driver of the red car arrowed should be aware of? Glare from the sun may affect the driver's vision. The black car may stop suddenly. Oncoming vehicles will assume the driver is turning. The bus may move out into the road. What type of vehicle displays this yellow sign? A private ambulance, a school bus, a broken down vehicle, an ice cream van. What hazard should you be aware of when travelling along this street? Children running out between vehicles, lack of road markings, glare from the sun, large goods vehicles. What's the main hazard you should be aware of when following this cyclist? The cyclist may move to the left and dismount. The cyclist may wish to turn right at the end of the road. The cyclist may swerve into the road. The contents of the cyclist's carrier may fall onto the road. A driver's behaviour has upset you. What can you do to safely get over this incident? Gesture to them with your hand. Shout abusive language. Stop and take a break. Follow them, flashing your headlights. How should you drive in areas with traffic calming measures? With headlights on dipped beam. At the speed limit. In the centre of the road. At a reduced speed. When approaching this hazard, why should you slow down? Because of approaching traffic. Because of the level crossing. Because of animals crossing. Because it's hard to see to the right. Why are place names painted on the road surface? To prevent you changing lanes. To enable you to change lanes early. To warn you of oncoming traffic. To restrict the flow of traffic. Some two-way roads are divided into 3 lanes. Why are these particularly dangerous? Traffic uses the middle lane for emergencies only. Traffic can travel faster in poor weather conditions. Traffic can overtake on the left. Traffic in both directions can use the middle lane to overtake. You're on a dual carriageway. Ahead you see a vehicle with an amber flashing light. What could this be? An ambulance, a disabled person's vehicle, a fire engine, a doctor on call. What does this signal from a police officer mean to oncoming traffic? Turn left, go ahead, turn right, stop. Why should you be cautious when going past this stationary bus? People may cross the road in front of it. There is traffic approaching in the distance. The driver may open the door. The road surface will be slippery. Where shouldn't you overtake? On a one-way street. Travelling up a long hill. Approaching a junction. On a single carriageway. What's an effect of drinking alcohol? Faster reactions, poor judgment of speed, greater awareness of danger, a loss of confidence. What does the solid white line at the side of the road indicate? Traffic lights ahead. Cycle path. Footpath on the left. edge of the carriageway. You're driving towards this level crossing. What would be the first warning of an approaching train? A steady amber light. One half barrier down. Both half barriers down. You're behind this cyclist. When the traffic lights change, what should you do? Turn right, but give the cyclist room. Try to move off before the cyclist. Allow the cyclist time and room.